The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you sit, the way you look at things, every damn thing, any kind of geometric movement of your body matters a lot. That is the only time when your brain will operate at its best, because brain is also a kind of organ. What I'm trying to say here is that if you want to have a great focus, if you want to have a great attention, then you make sure that your body and your brain. If you're a student, then it is very important for you to have focus and attention in your system, because any kind of study that you have in your life, even to remember the small things in your life, it is very important that your focus is very sharp. If your focus is sharp, then only you would be able to remember the things that you want to remember. And especially in the career of a student, so many things have to be remembered at a time. So in this video, we will understand that how to increase the focus and attention. I want you to understand here that if you want to increase your focus and attention, it is very important for you to understand that there are two factors which derive the focus of a human being. One which is external and one which is internal. When I say external, let's say that if you have to go to play some sports, then you automatically have interest in that. And when there is a factor which derives interest in anything, then automatically the focus comes. So interest depends upon various situations. Generally it comes because what derives pleasure within you, what drives joy within you, is something which develops interest in you. But the point here is, since we are talking about the students, then I know a lot of students are like that. Almost 92, maybe 95% of the students are like that, who really don't have much of the interest in the studies that they have been doing. But unfortunately, we have to do that study because there is peer pressure, then there is social pressure, and there is also the pressure of that we also have to build our income source so that we can survive in our life. But unfortunately, we don't have that much of interest in that, and that is why it becomes even harder when you have to pay focus and attention on something in which you are not interested. So the first option that we have, that we should do the things in which we are interested, that is not possible for the students, because whether you are interested in your education or not, you have to do the study. So now comes the second option, which can really help you a lot if you want to increase your focus and attention. Because I want you to understand, for example, let's say I have a mobile in front of me in which I'm recording this video. So if I want to take some usage out of this mobile phone, then I'll have to make sure that this mobile phone is functioning at its best, so that the quality of video that it produces or the quality of the photo that it produces comes at the optimum level. What I'm trying to say here is that if you want to have a great focus, if you want to have a great attention, then you make sure that your body and your brain works at its optimum level, because you are actually trying to get focus and attention out of your brain and body, right? So that is why there are few things that I'll tell you, that to make your body and brain operate at its best, the first thing that you should always remember in your life, that your body and your brain operates at its best only when your stomach is empty. You can practically observe in your life also, when you sit in the morning after getting freshen up and you taking bath, and when you sit for the studies, your ability to pay focus and attention on your studies is much better when you consume any kind of heavy meal and then sit for the studies. So it is very important for you to understand that whatever the kind of food that you have been consuming in your life, you make sure that almost 20 to 40% of the food that you consume throughout the day should be in its raw form. When I say raw form, either it can be a fruit, or it can be a nut, or it can be sprout, or it can be salad, or it can be something, any damn thing, that whichever you feel is good, you can have that. Why am I saying because you should consume 20 to 40% raw food? Because if you consume the food which is in its raw form, the process of that food within your body happens at much faster pace as compared to the food that you eat in terms of cooking. The moment you eat any kind of cooked food, the biggest problem with the cooked food is that you actually kind of kill that food. And when you eat the food which is dead and this body needs life, then this body actually will have to raise that dead food to generate the energy. So in this entire process, what will happen is, one is the bacterial activity which will happen in your system will be much higher as compared to the food if you consume it in raw form. Another advantage is the process of the raw form happens faster, whereas cooked food goes slow. So most of the times you will see that your stomach will be full, and if your stomach is full, then your body and your brain will not operate at its best. So it is very important for you that at least 20 to 40% of the food that you consume, it should be in raw form. At the same time, the second thing which is very important for you, that you should stop snacking. When I say snacking, people have this habit that sometimes they'll pop up some namkeen, sometimes they'll pop up some Maggie, sometimes they'll take some biscuit and all. I want you, if you do all these things, what actually you are doing with your system is that you are never ever allowing your stomach to become empty. When I say stomach, means this part, not the entire intestine. So let's say you take a meal in the morning which was at 9 or maybe at 10 or whatever. So at least in next 1 or 2 hours that food will start processing into the intestines. But what is happening just after 2 hours, 3 hours, again you pop up something. So you are constantly disturbing the stomach, and when you disturb the stomach, your body and your brain does not operate at its best. And that is why you would have seen a lot of times in your life, if you keep eating like this, you will have inertia, you will have lethargy, you will have disturbed sleep, you will not have focus, you will not have attention. All the things will start getting disturbed. So now come the second point, which is even much more important than the point that I spoke just now, that to increase the focus in your life, it is very important for you to understand that how geometrically perfect you keep your body in terms of postures, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you sit, the way you look at things. Every damn thing, any kind of geometric movement of your body matters a lot in your focus and in your attention. Why am I saying this? I want you to practically observe this, that if you look at your body, this entire body is designed in such a way that you have your skeleton system, which is of bones, in which you have all kinds of organs fixed. Somewhere you have kidney, somewhere you have liver, somewhere you have heart, and then you have your brain. And all these organs are not like fixed with some screws or something. They're just hanging into this entire system of skeleton that you have. Why am I saying this? The way you sit for studies changes a lot of things in your life, because your geometric perfection will make sure whether all the organs which are there in your body are functioning at its best or they are getting trouble. You can practically observe in your life also. You just do one experiment with yourself, that someday in an afternoon when you want to have a heavy lunch, you just eat the lunch and lie down on the couch like this, or maybe you can sit like this. Or most of the people you would have seen after eating the food, they will sit like this or like this, and all these kind of crazy postures. You just sit like that for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours and 3 hours. Even after 2 or 3 hours, you will observe in your system that still the heaviness of the food in your stomach will be felt a lot, because if you don't keep your geometric perfection right, your organs do not operate at its best. At the same time, you can do another experiment with yourself. Again, in one afternoon, you take a very heavy meal, whichever way you want, and then you sit with your spine erect for almost 20 to 30 minutes. I know it will be a little bit challenging for you, because might be you will have some kind of muscular discomfort, but for that you can use some kind of pillow in your lower back. But you don't have to sleep, you just sit with your spine erect. I guarantee you that within 20 to 30 minutes, whatever kind of heavy meal you consume, you will not even feel where did the food go in just 20 to 30 minutes. Why am I saying this? If you keep your body in a right posture, each and every organ in your body functions at its best. And that is why I am saying, when you sit for studies, you make sure that you keep your spine erect for most of the times, because that is the only time when your brain will operate at its best, because brain is also a kind of organ. So this was the very important point for you also. At the same time, one of the simplest practices that you can inculcate in your life if you want to increase your focus, you can start practicing meditation. When I say meditation, does not mean that you will have to just close your eyes and sit. I know most of the people do like that, but you being a student, even if you try to do that, you can do that also. But never forget the points that I spoke to you before. One is, the major thing is your food, and another one is your posture. If you take care of these two things, stop snacking, at least maintain the gap between your meals for at least 6 to 8 hours, you will dramatically see there will be a drastic change in your focus and attention. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much. Happy studying.